What's up, everyone? Episode 7 of the Knowledge Boner podcast. You know, it is Tuesday. I'm your host, Dylan Starr, got my boy Wally Wynn on. Wally, how's it going, man?
It's going good, man. This is take 3. We had some little bloopers going on, but we got a good laugh out of it. But now we're getting to it.
Yeah. This is definitely, like I said, raw, unfiltered. You know, we got, you know, if you are an entrepreneur, maybe you're just at home and, you know, if you want to ever get a podcast and you have kids around, you know, they always come in at the most inopportune time. So, you know, we're on take 3, so we'll give it a go. But, you know, kind of following what we talked about yesterday, you know, we mentioned to brush up a little bit on, you know, social media marketing. That kind of seems to be like a hot topic for a lot of people. You know, I would say we're not so much as social media marketers ourselves. You know, we kind of lean more toward the badass aspect of it, even though we do know a lot about it. But I wanted to kind of touch on, you know, how to get clients. You know, this is a subject that is very, I want to say opinionated. Like everyone has so many different like strategies. I want to say that in quotations and shit and different means and methods. And I can honestly say, you know, like going and using free methods of figuring it out, you know, finding stuff like just Googling like how to get clients, like the shit's wrong.
Utterly worthless.
Utterly worthless. Like the free shit that you find online, guys, if you're ever looking and you're just like, I want to start something, I don't know how to get clients to pay me, like it is utterly fucking worthless. Like you get what you pay for, free. So we're gonna kind of dive in. And before I even tell you like what we've learned, how we were able to get our own clients and that we have now, I want to kind of tell you the fuck ups that we've done. This is always the fun stuff. Like we've been there, we've done it, we tried everything. You know, I've done Craigslist and stuff in the past. We've gotten clients in the past doing it that way, but they're shitty clients. I'm talking like pain in the ass people. They can't even afford your services. They're more of a headache than anything. You know, going door to door, business to business, you know, really on foot prospecting. We still do DMs, you know, which if you don't know what that means, it means direct messaging. Kind of like cold emails, stuff like that. But there's another process that's involved with that. So we're going to tell you about the time we went over to, you know, a restaurant. We wanted a restaurant client. And it was someone that Wally actually had, which was mind blowing to me. Someone he worked with in the past, his ex-business partner. You know, we mentioned that before. And it's like, oh, well, we have someone that we met before. They're a restaurant and they were very interested. And, you know, we quoted them $3,000. Was it a month or was it just $3,000?
It was a month. Yeah. 3,000.
Yeah, a month. I was like, oh, cool. He's like, yeah, well, we follow up with them. And, you know, they were interested. We just never went and followed up with them. I'm like, you guys had a client that said okay to $3,000 a month and you didn't fucking follow up with them?
All right. Well, hold on. So, I mean, like, not to defend myself, that's definitely a terrible decision. Always follow up. # learn your lesson. But, but no, so in that other company, you know, that was not my role. You know, my role was not the, you know, prospecting and sales and that kind of stuff. You know, I was just building applications in the back. So, you know, for you guys out there that are starting your own businesses, if you're an owner in that business, you have to be able to do anything. You have to be the best salesman out there. You have to be, you know what I mean? Like before you can ask anybody to do anything, you have to be able to be willing to do it yourself. And that's something I definitely learned right there. And Dylan, now you can go back to your story.
Okay, yeah. So the lady, I believe when we first walked in, it wasn't even the lady that you had spoke to previously. She wasn't there at first, was she, Wally, or she was there?
No, she wasn't. The lady that we were talking to originally, she was out of commission. Like, she wasn't there. But I remember meeting the owner.
Okay, yeah. So somebody else. Okay, yeah. So we walked in, the owner was there. And mind you, when we showed up, we were dressed professionally. Okay. Let me say that for the fucking record. You know, you people that are just going to go in and you want to get clients and you think you're just going to look like a fucking bum, you know, good luck. Like first impressions, everything. I don't give a shit what anybody says, you know, all that, oh, be yourself bullshit, kumbaya. Like people fucking judge you on the first instance, whether you like it or not. It's psychology. It is a scientific fact. Get the fuck over it. You know, look like a professional if you're going to go into businesses. Okay. Wally, he'll tell you, Wally, how much do you like dressing up?
I hate it. I actually don't dislike sleeves in general. Like if you know me like really well, I'm always in tank tops. Now I understand that you have to dress nicely to go places. So I do clean up when I have to. But my perfect state is tank tops. And I hate dressing up. But even I have a shirt on.
You rarely see Wally in a fucking t-shirt. Like, you know, he is shirtless at anywhere else, but you know, he hates sleaze. But so we dressed up, we went to this restaurant, followed up. Asked to speak to the owner. She was there. We kind of told her like what we're doing, and we made it about her. And we really asked her like, you know, what she needs help with, what her pain points were. And then Wally brought up, oh yeah, you know, is so and so here? I don't even remember the lady's name. Do you remember?
I don't remember her name, and I don't remember either. I said, and I pretty much said, hey, you know, there used to be a girl here that ran your marketing. You know, what happened to her? Is she's still around? And that's kind of how we sparked that conversation.
Yeah, so he kind of, you know, went that route since it was someone that they spoke to before, and this was like I think a year later. And come to find out, you know, we were there to sell our marketing, but because we asked the right questions, you know, her pain point was actually her website domain. The person that set up her website before, she couldn't switch over the domain name. It was a cluster hell. She didn't understand why people couldn't do it. So naturally we're like, well, that doesn't make any sense. That's stupid easy. And then so we're like, hey, you know, like, why don't you let us help you with that so we can earn your business? We'll help you with the domain. And then, you know, we'd be really interested in helping you with your website. So she said, fine. So we were just waiting to get the information, as is with anyone. Whenever you offer to do something for free, they procrastinate on getting you the shit you need, right? Mm-hmm. So finally, come to find out, one of her business partners is like the head decision maker on their website and financials and everything. She was really cool, got us everything we needed. Long story short, we found out there's an issue with their hosting. The person that set up their stuff in the past, I'm not going to get into the tech details. It was a cluster of hell. Okay, we finally figured it out. We got the shit switched over. They were satisfied with it. Wally built a website for them, just something to get them by. And you did build that in WordPress, right? You just found like a builder tool.
Yeah. I just installed a builder tool. It wasn't anything crazy. I didn't actually use a theme. I just kind of, you know, used a builder and I put something together that would just, you know, be there, right?
Yeah. So, you know, we built that. And the moral of the story is, as we prospected that way, we, you know, offered to do a free service. We helped them with their pain point. And then when it came time to actually even give them a discount on it, it didn't turn into anything. Like they were penny pinchers. They couldn't afford it. They were time wasters. And you're going to run to a lot of people that you do it that way. So when it comes to getting clients, you really do have to play the power of position. And what do I mean by position? So, you know, I'm a big poker player. You know, if you're listening to this, you like playing poker, you understand the power position, but you never want to be the one that goes first, right? You want to see like what happens. And you could take, you know, kids. If you have kids, they understand this better than anyone. You know, you have a little girl or a little boy and they're, you know, trying to make friends, and they walk up and they ask them a question like, you know, what do you like better? You know, you like Hello Kitty or Justin Bieber, right? And well, the person that asked the question has all the power. They have the position. So the little kid, they have more on the line than money, right? They have their reputation. And it's like, well, crap, if I say Justin Bieber and he doesn't like Justin Bieber, then, you know, he's not going to be my friend. If I say Hello Kitty and I get it wrong, then they're not going to be my friend, right? So the kid that's asking the question, no matter what the response is, can be like, oh yeah, I like that, or no, I don't like that. They have all the power and position. As ironic as it is, the same works when it comes to getting clients. You know, you don't want to, if you're going out on a limb and you're bending over backwards for these people, and you're giving all the power and position to them, and they're literally going to be time wasters. You know, they have all the control. They get what they want, and they kind of like basically just jerk you around. So, you know, I'll let Wally kind of dive in, elaborate more on that.
Yeah. So, you know, we can kind of talk about, you know, another client that we dealt with, right? And this is it was very shortly, actually, within the same week that we actually went into this restaurant client, and it was a chiropractor. And so, you know, we go into his business and, you know, we kind of get him interested and we talk to him about marketing and stuff. And so now, you know, well, he's like, you know, what kind of results can I get, right? And basically, you know, what we did for him was, you know, we basically overwhelmed him with too much marketing stuff. But at the end of the day, he was just a simple business owner that just wanted to see, like, he just wanted to know if there was results or not results, right? So anyway, we had a really hard time pitching him on the services. So then we decided to make the decision to go in there and, you know, do free advertising, right? So we how much money did we spend, Dylan? Like $100 or something?
Yeah, not even close, not quite.
Yeah, like $100, and we advertised for him, and we did some free work, right? In the hopes of like gaining his business, because we did some free work. Now, you know, we showed him some results, and he was just like, you know, not surprised, and not even anything really. He barely even reacted at all. Mm-hmm. And it just goes to say that, you know, like people won't even, if you do too much stuff for free, even if it is of value, people won't see any value out of it. And so then they're effectively just going to waste your time. They're like, oh, that's cool. Thank you for that. But you weren't really solving a problem that they had or anything. You just went in there and tried to offer them something that you thought was of value. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. Like doing free stuff, like they don't value service. They're going to be time wasters. And, there's definitely more approach to, what you got to ask yourself is whatever service you're offering. Okay. You have to be very specific on who it is you want to work with, who's your ideal client. And let me give you an example. Like me and Wally, actually, before we started this podcast, we're tweaking our messaging right now. We're going to be building messenger bots stuff for a very specific audience in the network marketing industry. And we realized the best person that we can serve with our skill set that's going to help are people that are already in the top income earner level or close to it in the network marketing industry. Like we realized we didn't understand like how competitive it was for people at that level, like neck and neck. Like they want to beat each other. Trust me. Like it's fucking cutthroat. Yes. What we're finding out. And but now we're realizing like we want to be like, well, we can do this. We can help everyone in network marketing, like blah blah blah. And we realized like, no, we can't. Like it's not specific enough. Like we can't. If someone comes to us and they're just, oh yeah, I've been in network marketing for like 6 months. And they don't have a big enough downline. They don't have the capital. If you don't have money, you don't have capital for advertising. Like, honestly, we can't help you. So, we're at the point and stage in our business where we're going to be like turning people away, where we're going to say no. Like, we have all the position and authority, the way that we're going to do it and be like, look, if you're not at this level, look like the clients that we have now, and you don't even have, marketing budget, we can't help you. So, why don't you dive more into that?
Okay. Yeah. So really the issue with it is that most of these network marketers guys, like when they're interested in building a business and trying to get in like the revenue going, right? But then, they're worried about, getting too big for their britches, so to speak. Right. So, and what I mean by that is that they're worried about, like creating like an automated duplication system or whatever, whenever they haven't even built the business behind it that really even needs that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like they don't need to be worried about building a training system for their downline if you only got 10 people, if you only signed up 10 people, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Not even 50 people, even 100 people, because at that point, it's still a small enough scale that the leaders should be training the people underneath them, right? Mm-hmm. And you should be developing time and developing those relationships with people, so that way your team duplicates normally. And that's like a really big concept in network marketing, is like how to duplicate, right? And so then once you've built up enough momentum, obviously that your income increases with that. So you're talking like going from $1,000 a week, and all of a sudden now maybe your business is doing you like I know of people right now that are doing like 5 to 8K a week. You know what I mean? And so then when you're at that point, you can finally say, okay, so now my team is duplicating and still growing. So now I can build an automated system that would serve my team, right? That would serve my team, but then also build an asset for me that I can then use to leverage, building other things that I'm interested in. So whether that be like my personal brand, or if I wanted to, build a store, or build a blog and, run traffic to different like courses that I'm selling. And really it's limitless really what you can do. But basically, what we help them with, the most is just helping them realize that, you have to be at a certain scale before you can even think about automating anything.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So, we'll say if you are struggling, you want to get clients or customers or whatever, or, maybe you're listening to this and maybe you are in network marketing, and maybe a lot of network marketers are really struggling with that as well. You don't want to give up positioning. You don't want to do the direct outreach where you're just trying to get people to show up, and you want to have the power of positioning. Like that's definitely step one. I'm realizing the power of that as well. When you need money, don't make the mistake of taking a client when they have the power. That's the biggest number one takeaway. So you don't want to do prospecting, guys. You want to practice doing positioning, and learn that from a very high level 8-figure earner. So he definitely knows what the hell he's talking about. And the analogy he gave, which is so genius, is nobody goes to the bottom of the mountain to see the wise old man, right? Everyone goes to the top of the mountain to see the wise old man. So he has all the power and positioning of everyone else. So you just struggled. You just went through all this work climbing this mountain, and you're going to listen to what the wise old man tells you, right? You didn't just go to the top for nothing. So you want to definitely focus on that. And you want to remember too, it's not about client satisfaction. And I think this is one thing that me and Wally, learned the hard way. And, we wanted to make it all like, oh, we're going to go above and beyond for our clients. We want to appease them. You want to be one of those people that like is readily available whenever they need you, that you can pick up the phone, bend over backwards for them. Like, yeah, we'll do that. We've been there. We should do that. And it's not about client satisfaction, guys. It's about client control. Having those barriers in place and really being upfront with your potential audience. So remember that it's about client control. And then, finally realize that prospects will lie to your fucking face. They're like, buyers are liars, guys. I don't care what industry you're in. Take yourself, for example, guys, when you go to, a store or you go into the mall and you go and you ask questions and you're shopping around and you're looking for one things, like in your head, you just want the best deal, right? So people come up to you and they start asking these questions, you catch yourself doing it all the time. Buyers are liars. It's just our nature. Prospects are going to lie, but they definitely, they want to buy. They just don't want to be sold to. So, and, finally, the last kind of tip when it comes to getting clients I want to give you guys is whatever it is service you're doing, whatever you're offering to people, if you want to be an entrepreneur, start your own business, you need to know their problems better than they do. So really deep dive, understand who your audience is and realize, okay, what are these people's pain points? What keeps them up at night? What is it that when they go to bed and they roll over, like they just cannot fucking sleep because they're having, just anxiety over it. It's keeping them up at night. If you can know what that one key problem is for whoever your ideal buyer is, then you're going to win. It's going to be so much easier to find people like that. You're going to know where they hang out. You're going to know what their pain point is. And when you can tell them better than what they know what their problem is, they're going to automatically assume that you're the solution. So don't make the mistake we did. Don't just kind of go broad. We did it backwards. Me and Wally were just like, screw it. Let's hit up chiropractors. Let's do restaurants. Let's do realtors. Let's do whatever we can. We were just bouncing around, just like, we'll just get one. We'll get them results. We'll get a testimonial. We weren't specific. We were all over the place. We were being general. And that's not the way. And that's why we kind of crashed and burned in that aspect. And really, we just wasted a lot of our time. But, me and Wally look at the positive of things. Even though we wasted time, hey, we got more experience running ads. Wally got experience building, messing around with WordPress. So there's definitely some stuff. So, Wally's definitely got a lot more skills, and he's dabbling. You're dabbling with SEO now, right, Wally?
Yep, dabbling with SEO, and just kind of add on what you said earlier. You were talking about knowing people's problems, right? Mm-hmm. And I learned this from a 7-figure earner, and basically, it's kind of to help you guys kind of to think. You're probably thinking, how the hell do I close this thing? What words should I use? What's a good try, right? And so I learned this from a 7-figure earner, and he basically, it's a part of a long training, but this is kind of the end of it. So you have to actually, buy his shit if you want to learn his stuff. But I'll teach you just the last part. But the last part is basically this. It's he said, once you know everybody's problems and you're the person you're prospecting, your prospect realizes, that there is a difference. Like they realize that there is a gap in basically from where they are to what they want, right? Once then they identified that, then that's basically you identifying the problems that they have, right? So now once they've identified that, and you're trying to think of a way to close them, the easiest way is just he's calling it offer a life jacket, right? So what he means by offer a life jacket is just simply say, would you like help with that? And that's typically, a good way to begin a closing conversation, right? Because then at the end of the day, you've identified the problem, they want to fix it, obviously, right? And then you literally offer to help them with it. And that's how you begin that conversation.
Yeah, definitely. And, another example, the training I was watching when they were talking about kind of peeling back the onion, this 8-figure earner asked somebody in the audience, this guy does life insurance. And he's like, okay, well, pitch me. Guy's put on the spot and he's like, okay, well, let me tell you about this life insurance policy. And then the guy goes, don't fucking care. Doesn't matter. Don't give a shit. I don't care about life insurance. He's like, oh, well, I could help you, do that, get wealthy. He's like, I'm already wealthy. I have a shit ton of money. How are you going to help me? I make money. And then finally the guy was like, okay, well, what's your biggest worry? What what worries you right now? And he goes, and then he starts telling him about, the security, like how he's working all the time. He has money. He wants to know that, if he goes, like he wants to take care of his wife, make sure his mom's taken care of. And the guy's like, okay, was that like a big thing? You want to make sure that your mom's taken care of? He's like, yeah. So, he was like, and so the guy's like, what worries you? What keeps you up? And so he starts telling him, like, I want to make sure my mom's taken care of. My wife's taken care of. I'm working all the time. I'm building business, building the legacy. And, that's one of my biggest concerns. So he asked a few more questions and eventually brings up, the life insurance again. And then he stops him and, says, pause. What you were doing was a lot better. You were asking me questions, but you asked me too soon. It was way too soon. So you want to go as deep as you can. Okay, guys, when you're asking questions, you want to let them sit and wallow in pain. You want to try to get at least 5 different types of pain points from them before you bring up your end pitch. And the end pitch was thus him being like, okay, well, look, if I could find a security plan that will help you, that take care of your mom, take care of your wife, would you be interested in, designated some time to, see available options and, schedule about 20 to 40 minutes with me in detail. And then he's like, yeah, sure, I'll do that. Right. And his point was like, if you ask somebody those type of questions, like what worries them, and you let them open up and then you offer them solution, like, would you like help with that? What are they going to say? Hell yeah. Like, I mean, I can tell you right now, me and Wally have tons of pain points in our business. Tons of them, like there's so many things right now that we'd love to get out. And if
exactly. If someone's hitting me in those pain points, I'm like, hell yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's a no fucking brainer, guys. Like if you do it right, you're asking questions, right? Automatically, you have the position, you have all the power. And then that, okay, well, if I could solve that problem for you, would that interest you? Fuck yes. Yes, of course. Absolutely. And you got to be action takers too. Like when it comes to things, like there's going to be times where you're going to want clients where they need your services and they're not going to take action, but you don't ever miss out on an opportunity where you're not being an action taker. Right. Because, even this 8-figure earner was bringing that up. Like a lot of people want to work with him. And he brings up, he only works with people that take action at a certain point. So if you're like the type and you don't, you're like, you have to fret or you want to think on it or blah, 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 and you miss that, you're done. Like he doesn't want to work with you ever again. Like he can't help you. He can't help people that aren't willing to take action. So you got to have that type of mentality and be good at asking questions. So, with that, do you have anything else to kind of add to the topics of getting clients?
No, man, I think we did a pretty good job exhausting this one.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that was definitely a big pain point for us guys. We've been there. We struggled a lot with this. We've tried fucking everything, guys. I'm telling you right now. Emails, cold call, door to door, offering to do shit for free. It's great in theory, and I get it, but you're just asking for a world of hurt. And what's going to end up happening is the law of averages is going to come into effect. You are going to get a client, and it's going to be a client from hell. Literally, you're going to be, chasing money from them, or they're going to be paying you, and then you're going to want to pull your hair out. You're going to be stressed compared to if you had power position, you have control. They're paying you a lot of money, no stress whatsoever because you played your cards right. They're not bugging the hell out of you all the time. You don't want to rip your hair out. You don't want to sit there and be like, fuck my life. Is this worth X amount per month? Right? That's the situation you want to be in. So always try to come up with clever ways to power position. I hope that was very valuable for you guys today. I hope that was a little bit of gold nuggets and knowledge for you. I mean, that's what this podcast is all about. Me and Wally take that very seriously. We are in our off hours of doing this podcast, doing research, looking online, trying to find anything and everything that we can see you guys need help with, and really just trying to give you guys value. So, definitely comment below if you have any questions or if you like today's podcast or if there's anything more you'd like to know, if you want to go more in depth on how to get clients. A few episodes from now, we'll post a link. We're going to try to find a video for you guys to kind of help, whether it's with getting clients or help with business or anything. We'll post a link to that to where you guys can just go and watch it. It's going to be free, of course. Anything we do to help you guys with value. And, we definitely look forward to seeing you guys again. Make sure you're following us on Instagram. Make sure, you're following us on Reddit. We're still getting the subreddit up. We had it. We posted the link before. We talked about the R. I think it was like / knowledge boner.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So right now, if you are going to that URL and it's not working, that's just the only reason why it's not working yet is because he hasn't had gotten to the point where the subreddit's coming up. But he is in the Entrepreneurs Reddit group. So if you guys do see, what's your handle name on that, Wally?
Same as my Instagram. It's Wally_the robot.
Yeah. So if you are in the entrepreneur group on Reddit at all, guys, and you see Wally the robot, he's in there. When we get to the level that we can actually open up that subreddit category, we'll have that there for the podcast. So we apologize for that if you went to the URL and it wasn't working. Definitely hang out in the Entrepreneur Reddit group. In the meantime, until we get it up, we'll definitely keep you guys in the loop on that. And I hope everyone has a wonderful Tuesday. We are out.